Hey, how y'all doing out there in video land? This Stiletto and Juno coming at you from the Wild Wild West. Juno's over there on the grandma chair over there, great grandma chair. She loves that chair. But anyway, we left off right here, comparing the Frenzy. Now let's start comparing some other ones. Let's start comparing some other cold steel MIGs that are actually my favorites that stay out in my rotation drawer all the time. These are my I call them my motorcycle knives. When I go on motorcycle trips, that's why I carry these knives. This is a Frenzy. Let's pull the Frenzy out. And this is the Espada, the cold steel Espada. This is my personal Espada. It's been polished. Absolutely love it. This is the AUS-10A one. You can get these for like right around $100 now. These are an awesome bargain for our mega folder, people. Awesome bargain. G-10 handle scales. Oh, I had to stretch up my knee there, people. My knee's bothering me. Very similar in size and the proportions. I like the way this one feels better though. Why? Because this one's just a little bit heavier. This one, but this one feels like it could chop. This one feels like a knife that can actually chop, and I like the rear grip. Because if you were in a defensive or a combat situation with this one, and you hit somebody's wrist with this will probably remove the wrist. Because it's like a cleaver. It's gonna go straight through something. Like an axe blade. But I would not stab and pry with this. I would not think of this one as like one that's ideal for stabbing and prying. For one thing, if you stab into something hard with a delicate tip like that, let's say like bone or anything that's fairly hard, like a hardwood or something like that, you take the chance of risking it breaking off your tip, snapping off the tip. That's why for a defensive knife, you sort of want a better tip. You sort of want a little bit more defensive tip that can handle like going, stabbing into something hard like bone or hardwood or something. I'll just say hardwood. I won't say bone. I'll say like a hardwood without, risk of, snapping off the tip. But that's that one. That's that one. Let's leave that out. Another one of my favorites. This one needs a snaggle tooth. I'm gonna have to get a snaggle tooth for this one though, because this one needs to be waveable out the front pocket. Any knife this big to me needs to be waveable out the front pocket. I noticed the pocket clips are about in the same spot, and people talk about this pocket clips the same. It's too small, but if you notice, it's the same size as all the old style mega folder pocket clips. They're all that same size. It's all the exact same pocket clip, I think. Let me see if you guys get a better look at it. This is an XL Talwar right here. This is the AUS-10A one, the original one, my first one. It's the one I still carry. Like I said, often I get my first knife is the one I carry. This one's been totally polished. Even the G-10 scales on this one have been polished. On the inside, no. That's the way I used to do my old knives. So then they would operate like super, super smooth. This knife is not loose. This is not a loose knife. This knife does not have any side-to-side play, blade play, or up and down. It locks up totally hard and totally solid and totally rigid. This is one of the very first Talwars that came out back in the AUS-10A era when they first came out in the original Cold Steel Company. So I don't even know how old this knife is, but I would say it's like 10 years old or something like that. And it's been carried a lot. This knife has been used and carried a lot. And it's my favorite mega folder. My very favorite mega folder. If I had to get in a fight with any of my mega folders, I want to have this one in my hand. Why? Because it's super light, super fast, balanced perfectly. Balanced perfectly. It's just super nimble in hand. It's like super fast. I love this knife. I love the Talwar. The new Talwars, I got one of the new Talwars, and it had some problems with the pivot pin. And I had to swap out one of the pivot pins from one of my old original Talwars, one of my other ones I didn't carry, and put it in it, and it worked perfectly. So the pivot pin size, I think that they had in my Talwar, the S35VN one from GSM Cold Steel, when they first made them, it was 5.97 millimeters thick, and it needed to be a 6.22 millimeter thick pivot pin in order to work properly. That's my experience with that one. I like the Talwar more than I like the Espada. I love the Espada too, but I like the Talwar more. Talwar is my favorite, people. Now this one right here, this is probably the one I carry the most though. Nowadays. Back in the day I used to carry the Talwar more, but nowadays I carry this one a lot. It's got my snaggle tooth on it. Let's compare that to this one. The new one. Blade slightly longer, about an inch, looks like almost like an inch longer. It's supposed to be only a half an inch longer, but it looks like an inch longer, people. Let me just, out of curiosity. It is an inch longer. Okay, this blade's 5 3/8. Not 5.5 inches, it's 5 3/8. This one is a 6-inch blade. Yep, 6-inch blade. I love it. I love it. And this one's one of my favorites because I like these because they're inexpensive. You can get these for like 50 to 60 bucks. Sometimes, 70 at the most. You know what I mean? You catch the sales at Midway, they'd be like $55. I never paid more than $55 for one of these. I got a bunch of them. I got, every steel that they ever made them in because I've always carried these. I love the American Tonto, Lindsey Thompson's American Tonto. And I love the Triad lock and this version of the Voyager. This is the Demco version of the Voyager. The original version of the Voyager didn't have a Triad lock. It just had a back lock. This one has full heat-treated, not stainless steel, but 6061 aluminum liners in it. These have been tested to hold up to 450 pounds without failure. Didn't fail at 450 pounds. They just stopped putting weight on it. And it's battling against other knives when Demco used to do the weight hangs. Excellent knife, people. I highly recommend the Voyager. And that's that one. This one has Grivex handles. All these others have G-10 handles. Next one up. Well, another one of my favorites. This is my original G-10 Japanese AUS-10A Cold Steel holdout. This is my favorite holdout. I like the 4-inch holdout too. But this one's been used the most. It's one of my most used knives. I use this one in the kitchen all the time. It's got a 6-inch blade, full flat round blade. It's been fully polished inside and out. This one has polished scales also. So it's like super, super, super fidgety, or works very easily. Absolutely love it. Compare that one to this one. Both of these have 6-inch blades now. Yep, and I see that. They're both the same size. The handle length and the blade length are the same size. But this one weighs half as much. Let's compare how much the weight difference is. That's one of the reasons why I like this one. I like to carry this one on the inside of my leather vest in the gun pocket. Anybody that rides motorcycles wears leather cuts. They know what I mean by when I say the gun pocket. .9 ounces. 6.9 ounces. Wow, it is almost half as much. Wow. And this one's just as badass. This one's got just as much reach, because you can grip it way in the back. It's more concealable. This one's a lot easier to conceal. I know, because I'm telling you from experience. I haven't never tried to carry the Mayhems yet, All these I have carried. These are knives I have carried, people, and do carry. Next one up. Counterpoint XL, another one of my favorites. It's the BD1, CTS BD1. I think that's what it was, CTS BD1. And it's been all polished. I've had it for many years. This is an old knife. It's one of my favorites. It's not my first one. My first one was the AUS-10A one. But when I got this one, I polished it out and it became my favorite. The first one I never polished. And this one it's been polished inside and out. The 6061 hardened aluminum liners, full aluminum liners, have been totally polished. Everything's been polished on this one. So it operates like butter. One thing about the cold steel knives, you get them straight from the factory, and if you put a little bit of elbow grease into them, they're like awesome. These are like awesome knives. It's just like the factory, they make a good knife and everything, but it's just like they need to have a little bit more finishing to them to make them perfect, if you ask me. And that's why I always do. I always like deburr. I always like to take them apart when I first get them and deburr all the blade tang and everything, so there's no grittiness or anything, and polish the blade tang and you do all that kind of stuff, and you polish the washers and stuff like that, and put it all back together, all nice and lubed. You'll have a nice operating knife. This is beautiful, people. Absolutely love the Counterpoint XL. And these aren't beautiful and easy to operate when you first get them. At least not the old ones. New ones are, because I recently purchased a new one with the serrated blade, and that one operates very easily. But the original ones, they had some issues with the operation of them. They didn't operate super smoothly. Well, these are my triad favorites. Well, wait a minute. I got one more triad favorite that's in my pocket today. My Frenzy, we already seen this one, so I'm just gonna put this one down here. And my other favorite, oh yeah, I gotta have a Ti-Lite 6. My favorite folding stiletto, the Ti-Lite 6 from Cold Steel. And when I say Ti-Lite 6, I'm just being generic, because I mean all of them. I like all of the Ti-Lite 6s, whether you have a crisp blade or a bayonet blade or the new Lindsey Thompson buoy blade or clip blade. I like the bayonet, the crisp, they make awesome knives. These are some awesome folding stilettos. If you like folding stilettos and have experienced folding stilettos, you know what I'm talking about. Because most folding stilettos are kind of like novelty type knives. They're kind of cheaply made and they're just made for like tourists or just to be collectors or something like that. They're not really meant to be a user. These are user knives. This is a nice heavy duty folding knife. I know it's a liner lock, but this is a heavy duty liner lock, people. This is not a weak liner lock. This is a strong liner lock. Cold Steel liner lock. Absolutely love it. Highly recommend the Ti-Lite 6 for a self-defense folder. Highly recommend it. It's not only good as a blade, but it's good as a cubiton too. Grab somebody by the wrist. Pressure points, cubiton. So it's great as a non-lethal weapon also, or non-lethal tool, self-defense tool. We don't like to use the word weapon. All right, people. One more coming up. One more coming up. These can all set aside. Oh, I love my Talwar, people. I love my Talwar. And this one, to me, this one is one of the best buys. The Espada. Right now, the AUS-10A Espada. This is another one that's the best buy. The Voyager. I always highly recommend the Voyager. Any blade style Voyager that you like. I happen to like the Tontos. But I do have all of them. But, you know, because I'm a collector, so I collected all of them. But the ones I carry, the Tontos, absolutely love the holdouts. Another one I highly recommend. The counterpoint. And I'm recommending these as mega folders that you carry. Because there's other mega folders that Cold Steel makes, like the XL Espada. I don't carry that one; it's too big. And also the Rajas, the big Rajas. I don't carry those because they're too big. But I love them. I love both of those knives, but I don't carry them because they're just too big and bulky and heavy. And this one I'm gonna try to carry, but this one goes in that too big and bulky heavy category also. But I just like it. I just like it because I like the Atlas lock, and I want to get used to it. I want to get used to using it and manipulating it, like y'all like to see, like y'all see me manipulate knives and stuff like that. I want to get good with this one. But I love this one. To me, this is a stiletto on steroids. This is like an ultimate heavy duty fighting combat stiletto. I wish they would make these in DLC and with G10 also. I still want them to keep the aluminum liner, the heat-treated aluminum liners, because to me, the Cold Steel knives with the heat-treated aluminum liners, the full liners, those knives operate the smoothest. The 8010 has heat-treated aluminum liners. Do you think that one operates smooth? I do. I'm just putting that out as an example. All the Voyagers have heat-treated aluminum liners. All the counterpoints have heat-treated aluminum liners. Absolutely love it, people. Oh yeah, and this is where it's all started with me. Started with the Ti-Lite, the Ti-Lites. The first one I bought was a Japanese one in 2001. And I've been in love with the Ti-Lites ever since. This is where I'm at now. As y'all know, I have the aluminum handle ones, I have the G10 handle ones, but I like carrying the budget mega folders. And the reason why is because if it ever gets confiscated or if I have to get rid of it or whatever, it's not a big financial loss. But this is just as tough and strong as any other folding knife on the planet. As far as for a self-defense folder, this is just as good as any of them. It only costs a third of the price. And it looks more sinister. It's more intimidating. This one's good for the art of fighting without fighting. You pull this out, somebody sees it, they say, oh, hell no. Ends the fight. Absolutely love this. Absolutely love them. All right, this is one that we've been waiting on. This is the way it's been since you guys saw it. I haven't used it. It's been a total collector like I told you it was going to be. But this is my collector special edition Mayhem. Limited edition Mayhem. This is S35VN one. Perfectly centered just like the AUS-10A one. Came with the G10 handle scales. This one has like an orange and I don't want to say like a brown or black. Or maybe it's brownish orange or burnt orange and black. Handle G10 layered laminated G10 handle scales. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. There they are. Now I have both of them. This one's going to be the user. This one's going to stay the collector. My collector is number 535. 535. I don't know how many they made, but mine's 535. When I first saw these come out, I was in love with them. I just knew I had to have them when they came out. And then they advertised this one at being like $239 at Knife Center, I think it was. And that was like a low price because they were like $250 or something like that. And I said, no. I love the knife. I want to have it. I really want to have it, but the price was just wrong for me. I'm willing to pay a little bit more for, a modern powdered steel, and the G10 handle scales and all that, but I'm not willing to pay that much for an old school AUS-10 ingot steel. To me, this steel is a great steel for knives that are in between, let's say, 50 and 150 bucks. I think it's a great steel in that price range. But 150 bucks and up, I want powdered steel. I don't want an ingot steel on a knife, unless it's like a camp knife or a heavy duty survival knife or something like that, where, you know, you do want like a you know, really good, strong, you know, high carbon ingot steel. You know, like 80CR, you know, V2 or 1095 or something like that, you know. That's when you want something like that. But for a folding knife or a pocket knife or something that I can carry every day and stuff like that, it's got to be a powder steel that's over 150 bucks for me nowadays. That's just me, people. I don't care who makes the knife or whatever. If it's going to be over $150, I'm not going to buy it unless it's got a powdered steel. Under $150 is like my limit for, you know, a non-powdered steel nowadays. What do y'all think? But anyway, that's where I'm at on that. Absolutely loving them, people. Here's one last look before we close out for today. I try to get some more videos out there. My leg is still bothering me, people, so don't expect me to like be, you know, hammering them out and stuff. But I want to get some more videos out for everybody. I haven't gone anywhere or anything like that. Just dealing with a knee issue. The doctor said I have a strained knee. I strained the ligaments and the muscles in my knee, and I don't even know how I did it. I didn't fall or anything like that, so I don't know how I did it. It just happened. I must have, you know, twisted my knee or something, did something weird. But anyway, people, hope everybody's doing great out there. And happy Father's Day. This is Father's Day weekend to all the fathers out there. Happy Father's Day tomorrow on Sunday. And hope everybody's doing great. Peace. Peace out. Stiletto. Juno's still sleeping over there. Peace.